to Rose Colombo's Issues of the Day. We're talking about the lack of morality in our schools and the dumbing down of our society. So stay with us because we're talking to Barbara Ayash, and she is extremely knowledgeable in this area. Barbara, okay, we were talking about the people who believe that we should get rid of our present curriculum in the schools, reading, writing, and arithmetic, and go on to their new curriculum.
So Thorndike goes on to say, it will of course be understood, directly or indirectly, soon or late, every advance in the sciences of human nature will contribute to our success in controlling human nature and changing it to the advantage of the common weal. In other words, we take the mix of psychology and education, and we've now planted the seed, which is going to strip a child of all of his individualism and actually mold him so that he can be trained for the goal of collectivism.
Well, they would certainly have children because they certainly wouldn't change us older people.
Right.
So they wouldn't be able to mold us, so of course they're going to take advantage of the children.
Right.
That reminds me of Hitler.
Well, interestingly enough, one of the secrets to Hitler's rise to power was the fact that he knew that what he was doing was so incredible that nobody would believe it.
Well, this is incredible.
Right? And so as long as it is that incredible and people don't believe it, you had a man who actually stood up to the populace and said, after he created a public school and put his own SS agents in charge of it, he actually said, you know, I really don't care if you object to what I'm doing. It's not going to matter because I have your children and they will carry forward my dreams.
Well, there's can't get a whole lot of information on it, but what I have been able to obtain, according to what I understand from what I'm reading, the government is going to take over our children's lives, and if we spank our children, then the government can step in, take the children, put them in a foster home, and hold the parents accountable in a court of law for contempt, or even put them in jail if they are prosecuted. That's very serious. Then also, the other thing I understand is that they are also going to, maybe you know something about this, that they are going to teach the children what is politically correct, not necessarily reading, writing, arithmetic, but what is politically correct, and they are going to tell them what they will be when they grow up.
They're going to tell them what they're going to do when they grow up as a worker, that's right.
And also that if they don't, they will no longer be receiving a certificate from high school. They will be receiving a high school diploma. They will be receiving what is called a certificate of mastery. And from what I understand, if they do not have that certificate of mastery, they will not be able to work.
That's true. That's true.
What more do you know about that? I think that is very frightening. I think that the people in the United States should be writing letters to their congressmen, to their legislators, to their schools, to their president of the United States, objecting to the takeover of their children, basically.
That's true. I think that what we have here is originally we have a law which was passed in 1994, and that's where the first certificate of mastery was issued, was actually back at that time. This is shortly after the election of the new president.
Mr. Clinton.
Right, exactly. That certificate of mastery was actually delivered to a boy in Oregon whose mother objected highly when she received the certificate and saw what it said and understood what it meant, and then actually checked with her son to find out how much of this he really knew. Because on the right side of the certificate of mastery was a great deal of very colorful language talking about what he could be, how he was he understood diversity, he was capable of communicating and collaborating, and all of these many nice things that he could be at the age of 14 in the 10th grade. On the other side, it said what it could do, and it talked about how he could do integrated math and how he understood science and how he understood many different things. Now, when it actually boiled down to finding out what he could actually do, he couldn't conjugate a verb. He couldn't write a complete sentence. He had no biology, no geography, no algebra.
Them what they have to do with the rest of their life, according to our government. And it also leaves the door open, in my estimation, for discrimination, because if they are prejudiced, like Hitler was prejudiced, and Saddam Hussein, who's massacred millions for whatever, because he didn't like certain people. This means that could also open a door for discrimination against races, ethnicities, and those people could be jobless or be sweeping floors, or and wouldn't be able to obtain.
Will have a job. But 70% of the juvenile population of America will be kept at the level of worker bee, drone. In other words,
Slaves.
The people that are going to be making beds in hotels, serving food over counters, mowing lawns, cleaning bathrooms, those kinds of things. Then you have an elite group that will be chosen by government to become doctors. I want to give you a story, because this actually happened to my grandson.
Well, on part 2, we're going to ask you to come and tell us that story on part 2, because we've run out of time, unfortunately.
Okay.
But you have given us so much invaluable information that I want you, the audience, to be alert, and I want you to send for information on the Certificate of Mastery and your parental rights being alienated by our government. And ask your legislators for that information on what's happening to your children and their education. So, until we talk again, this is the Rose saying, stay healthy, stay happy, and God bless. And remember, injustices can happen to you, they can happen to me, and now they can happen to your children. So stay alert. Bye-bye.